said she's gonna bring the booklets in a little bit. The guy from the coffee place went to lunch.
Okay.
Después de 40 minutos yo no sé. Como los
¿Sí?
chiquitos. Sí. No podía quedarse así en esas porque en clases uno por lo menos, no sé, se para, hace algo, pues habla así, no sé, abre la puerta.
Pero los que tocan ópera, ruptura de la espalda.
Exacto.
Los que tocan ópera. Eso sí sería la culminación.
This is Lincoln Theater.
Ajá, yes.
¿Por qué? Todas las respuestas valen.
I have it. It's not coming up. Oh, it's already here. It's already doing it. Cool. All right. Did it come through for you?
Esta es la mesa Castella.
Email?
Sí, de plano.
Okay,
Esta es la
good.
mesa Castella. está en todo.
Podemos poner el banco.
Porque si hay que hacer algún proyecto, hagamos proyecto con ella.
When I first started teaching this piece, I just thought it was really long. And I didn't know what to do with it musically.
Cuando empezó a hacer esa pieza que era muy larga, no sabía qué hacer con ella en la música.
I didn't know, it's so long, you know?
Porque
My decisions are not always based on Baroque principles. We've talked about this, right?
decisiones musicales las basan en principios barrocos.
So my priority is not playing it historically accurately.
La teoría musical la basan en
That is not why we have these pieces. Right? But more and more as the student gets advanced, we talk about it. So at this point, we've already had a Vivaldi concerto. It's in A minor. I always talk about key, the key something is in, has an emotional feeling, has a color, has a mood. G minor, I ask the student, what other pieces are in G minor? You know, and usually they'll know that one because it's called Gavotte in G minor. So, I don't know if this gives me permission to play it more smooth, but I do. Vivaldi, I play this way, and G minor, it's very different with the key. It's very different with the bowies. Not always very different, but more differences in the bowies. So I don't say it's wrong or right. I don't talk from this is the right way, this is the wrong way. I don't say these are the right bowings, these are, you know, it's just here are the bowings in the book. And here is a way for us to try it. I have them listen to, it's on YouTube, so, Misha Elman, very old-fashioned, very, you know, really that way. Yeah, one of Dr. Suzuki's favorite violinists to listen to. It's a very old recording. It's like, right. Sarah Chang. Hers is, right? Both of them are with orchestra. Yeah, Sarah Chang plays fast and light. And then we have, of course, Augustine Heller. We have to remember the recordings of Augustine and Hillary, there's no translation, they are aspirational recordings. But that's why I like IMTEX. IMTEX is, I can play along with it. They are learning, teaching recordings. So it's important to have both. Yeah. So it doesn't mean mean that they have to go so fast, you know. They work with MTechs, and then my students get to play with my husband, so Link is, he plays the accompaniments for them. But if they practice with MTechs and they listen to Hillary and Augustin, they are much more ready to play with live piano. So just some thoughts. But this piece seemed very long. I wasn't, it felt all the same to me, but it's not the way anymore. I feel like it's they're very different sections. We talked about this in book 4, in Vivaldi. I start with what is tutti and what is solo, right? And I want them to notice that they can notice it easier when they hear Sarah Chang, you know, because with the orchestra, it's obvious when she's a soloist and when they're tutti, the tutti sections, right? I ask them to play, like the solo and the tutti, they're the same, right? So here's the tutti, but here's the solo. Well, not the same, but the idea. So I'm gonna play it more solo-tude and tutti-tude, you know? It's an attitude, so I like to do that in book 5. Some people are more ready for it, but I like that. Plant the seed of expression when you're solo, and very, very steady and together when you're tutti. Yeah. Great. So there's so much different. I start with the practice spots. Let's do I know what we'll do. It's 4 pages, so we'll do the practice spots and then play the page. The practice spots, play the page, because there's one main, usually 2, but one main practice spot per page. Here it is. Very lush. When I was a student, terrible, but then I think it's much more Vivaldi, Baroque, easier. But I like to start, and then, let's see, what am I doing? That's not So, either start from the top or start from the bottom, but and then the same thing. So it's a scale in 6ths. This makes it so much more in tune, right? Easier this way first. So I was trying to do. Okay, so that will keep the fingers down more. That will keep the fingers more in tune, more pattern. Why don't you stand up and try this with me? Easier to play it and do it. We call this focus practice. Oh, not the button. Okay, fingers here, open string here. 1 and 2 and ready, go. Yeah, right. Got it? Slower? Faster. Slower. Okay, slower and then faster. Ready, go. Try it with So, yeah, that. So we wanna change the string. But sometimes kids will be very, yeah, it's like no pollo violinista. Yeah, yeah. It's good pollo for lunch.
Sí.
Delicioso. Great, so that's the big spot, and then, what happens here usually, you know?
Well, they changed the rhythm.
Exactly. And they go. It's fun, right? But it's not, so, practice things separate bow to civilize the fingers. The bow teaches the fingers, right? We do that so much. I do that in orchestra stuff all the time. Separate, like big long runs, pick it separate. Take out the bowings, much easier, yeah. Take out the trills. Have to practice. Ah, darn it, it's in tune. Oh. So, that's B flat, the difference there. All right, so, then, let's see. Get to the tip. So let's practice the focus of that. We don't need fingers unless you want to. Ready? So we're gonna go. Oh, I was wrong. That's right. Yeah. So that's bow distribution. But honestly, they're not thinking about bow distribution, they're thinking about their fingers. So make the fingers easy so the bow can know. Yeah, all right. The fifth, how do you make a fifth in tune? I need help.
Maybe create like scales in fifth.
Oh, that's a
I
great
don't know if
idea.
that has like.
Yeah. That's a really good idea. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, all on the in fifths. So there we go. That's a really good idea for helping your hand balance too. So that's good practice idea. I ask my students, tune the fifth with your elbow. That helps to make sure that they're not squeezing too much. I don't like this way, but it works. Flatter finger. That works great, but it doesn't always help everybody else be ready and in tune. Brian Lewis says, play sharp and squish back. That's kind of the same idea. I say pretend, or have the nail look at you. Right? You can draw a face on the nail. And then pretend there's a has extra string. Where the phantasma in between the string, and then put your inside corner on the imaginary string. Yeah, and then that can, let's see if that helps. Done. Yeah, good. So they need practice on that. Yeah. When do they have fifths? When is their first double stop fifth? I think science. Yeah. I mean, maybe you do it. You know, you might. But that's, to me, that's rolling. Or, that's how I practice it. Right. Right. So I think that's very good. A broken fifth. I like that. Practice the twinkle in fifths, or practice pieces in fifths. Good balance. Good idea. Thank you. I will come home with more ideas. Now, there are other spots, of course. I think that this is another spot to look at. Measure 39 and 40. Making sure, sounds the same. close together, far apart, that's why they miss that. Accent. Grab it with your thumb, right? Tuh. Okay, and then,
And the first, I think,
yeah,
the first time is in some of the wind.
oh, when they have a cross fit, but I mean when they keep it down, yeah,
Ah.
yeah, but that's, that was good though, I like it. I definitely want them to hop. I don't want, that's not what we don't want, so we wanna hop with the elbow, yeah. Good idea though, that's where, yeah, well. It's their first fit. And a lot of fits. I didn't used to say interval names as much as I do now, but I'm like, how many things can we connect sooner, you know? How many, if I always say, what is the interval? Or you play a scale with a drone, you know, and have all the intervals you need, you know? Let me just, I think that's pretty much, this just is question, answer. So we always want to have it, the music have direction, of course. Let's play the first page and then we'll look at the second, okay? Tutti. Arrow Now solo. Good. I did forget, this is such a great opportunity. It's such a perfect example of bowing's our musical ideas. It's light, jazzy, and attitude. As opposed to, and I always like it when a student says, why first position and then third position? Why different bowings? And I ask them, why? Variety, contrast, contrasto. So that's such a great goal. How much contrast? Be the storyteller, you know? Oh, questions on that first page? Anything you have? Great. Okay. Find as much variety as possible in every piece, but especially something like this that could feel very long. It could feel very much the same, but it doesn't need to. And if they're a little bit stuck in autopilot, go back to a piece that they can create more contrast. All right. I'm gonna put the winning practice spot. There's a tie. Maybe there's 3 ones, but I'm gonna say it's this one. I'm obsessed with trills. This can be a mess. Why is this one tricky? Maybe second position. Great, yep.
String crossing.
It jumps around, yeah, we've got big, big string crossings. That would be good too, right?
When you're doing acrobatics, get a long bow.
Yeah. Find, like in Bach, find all Baroque, find the missing, I mean, it's not that much of a song, but find the missing melody, or the hidden melody, not missing, hidden. Great. Things that jump, like it's the martellato measures in the Vivaldi first movement. Those are the ones that kids get lost on, so they need to practice them extra. If you have big jumps, you need to practice it more. And then there's the spacing is very different, right? We've also got octaves, so it's really good to leave your finger down. I do not do what's, I do start there. When we have big string crossings, we practiced it this way, right? So let's practice this once. It might be a mess because we're doing it together. Let's practice all string changes with the double stop, slowly. Here we go. Okay, this is a double stop. Oh, that's not a double stop. Separate. Now this is a double stop. Double stop. We cannot play it here because that's two strings, right? And then less. Right? This is phrase it, right? Next one. Here's a double stop. Here it is again. Can't do it here because there's two strings. But we must touch, right? Keep your fingers down. Yeah. Well, I'm looking in the wrong place. Where are we? Oh, there we go. Good. No double stop. Double stops here. Perfect fourth, right? Touch, right? And touch. Not quite touch on that one, yeah. So walking fingers, very important here. It's a lot going on there, yeah. And so I asked the students, how many sequences? Okay. It's just 3, but we want to, it doesn't look like that, but we want it to sound and feel like that. Sequences, right? Sequences are always an opportunity for direction. Right? If there's sequences going up like this one is, more. And then you get to celebrate your arrival. This one also is, maybe it's because it's in second position. Maybe it's usually because that A flat gets them. They also have an A flat up at the top of the page. You measure 63. All right. Met. What did I write? Met. Metronome? Probably. More sequences. There's that A flat again, right? Open back. And then shift. Stay in third position is another possibility. Which do you like? You like staying? Or you? Most kids bail and forget it. I usually go down, but it's fine to stay in third, yeah. Again, longer string, more ring. For Baroque music, yeah. The in measure 70, it says stomp or grunt or sniff. But it's much better to have the student do something to feel the rest. Because we already have Oh. I'm definitely a little echo because, yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure it's Tibidor Natchez, not Vivaldi.
Ay, la regué.
Yeah.
Ah,
Right.
Bluetooth.
I've never noticed them before in my life.
Yeah.
I don't think
But
I
in Ukraine,
have.
it's not a very strong accent, so it makes sense.
No, yeah, that would,
Uh-huh.
that's
Right.
why we must go with the recording along with the what's in the music, yeah, right. Yep, yeah,
Sí, pero yo sí que puedo escuchar
All right.
la grabación. Además de la música.
oh well,
Wait,
tutti.
la grabación de esta vez, sí.
Do you have any Baroque reasons for the accents to be there?
I don't know, it's a curiosity that there are there.
Yeah. It is kind of strange. And you know what, let's open the option that sometimes there are mistakes and typos. There are, yeah. Each time they keep reprinting, they do a little adjustment. Ready? And. That's a surprise. Yeah, so I do like to, as B naturals are like, it's like your friend. Hey, hey. Sorry, I also need to check my phone. Da-da. So each one of those can come out. And then the trill changes it. Yeah. Sorry, I just messed up. Where were we? 60. 60. Let's try it. Then we'll go down low. And more. Now less. Less. Right. Yeah. And the little slow down. It says poco alargando. I kind of moved that over here a little bit more because it doesn't. That doesn't make sense to me musically, but this makes sense. Like time to finish, in tempo. Yeah. So I just. Yeah. But let's listen to Augustine tonight and see what he does. Ask Augustine. Questions on this page? On we go. I have a favorite spot and then a big practice spot, right? My favorite spot is the bubblegum pull. Yum gum. So you pull your gum, snap it back. You call bubblegum?
Chicle.
Chicle. Oh, too bad. This is the one time there's more syllables. English. Bubblegum, snap. So it's a pull and push. Tension, release.
Goma de mascar.
That's fun. Because I mean, you can make a little space, but it's confusing sometimes where dot after a note, dot on a note. We have to make sure this makes it long, this makes it release. Big, little, big, less, least. And then each you have four sequences, each one's less. So we don't want to lose that. We've already practiced this so much. Yeah. We've had that a lot in the A minor, so they're used to that, but more idea, more thing. But of course, the biggest practice spot is right. There. Have they ever had this before? Roman numeral 2? To tell them second string, not second position, but second string. Vivaldi, yes, but I have Vivaldi. Right there. Yeah. So I like for them to look for that, and it's why I only want to use that for string, not for position. Yes. So positions with colors, maybe positions, something else, but that means the string. In the Kreutzer book, sometimes they have it with position, and it's confusing. Anyway, so this is so good because it can be a harmonic check, and then you're shifting light, right? So, half step back, wrong roll, and then I just have them go up to a harmonic, right? And then if they play strong, just practice a perfect fit, a fourth. And then build your pattern. So the pattern, I think I got it. Yeah. So what pattern is it? Up in fifth position. Orange, right? Na-na. Na-na. So, where do they first get that finger pattern?
En el libro 1, en el
Libro dos. One before, two. One, two. One before. La Bruja. That's a La Bruja. Yeah. Yeah. Now play the spot. Right. So make a big deal of that because here it comes in fifth position. No one wants to hear that out of tune. No one wants to hear that out of tune. So, and it's so close together. I know we talked about this in other courses, but I use frutas instead of sports, big words, because I know fruit's better than sports, but grapefruit, apple, orange, plum, or lemon, maybe limon, and then plum, right? So when you are in first position, it's the biggest, and when you're in fifth position, it's so much smaller. So orange, now an orange, is smaller. Anyway, but this is not easy. But they really can hear. Is it in tune? Is it in tune? Do we know the pattern? And then they'll use a lot of bow. Most of the times they if they're not sure it's in tune, they use this much bow instead of. So triplet, 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 quarter, eight, quarter, eight. So make sure the rhythm is there too. That's a lot going on there. Other spots. Bowings bring out the dynamics, bring out the
sabor.
Okay, so this is. This is sassier than that. That's more, you can have characters from the different Boeings, so. Maybe this helps them remember the Boeings more too. I don't want them to only remember the Boeings because they have every Boeing marked in their music. Then they can't hear what they're doing. It takes their ears away. I think we only have time to play this page. I think we've got 3 final. Okay. Say no. Does it pick up no D? Me? No. Okay. It's hard to sort of, right? No. Vibrato, big vibrato. Sorry about that, last one. Sassy. Stop, check. Check. That's your perfect chord. Go! That note was, so that'll be fun. What a terrible place to stop for you, but I know I have to go pre-twinkle in the cafeteria, and I hope you find something, book 5 close, or something like that. Get your observations in, give me something, anything by tonight, because I know you've watched at least yesterday. And, see you tomorrow.
Me van a dar bolsillas, porfa. Sassy puede ser pícara también.
Ah, sí.
Así eso.
Oh,
La que se
I
quedó
forgot to ask
Sí.
that. Can I email you guys tonight?
Necesito saber.
I'll email, or if I don't have it by, or at least by tomorrow morning. Thank you for
Se
reminding
la
me.
dio a mi a recoger, ¿verdad? Ah, sí, que se la mira la que no.
Instead, I walked around the track.
No, yo creo que no.